1. The silent strength of listening. When was the last time someone truly listened to you without interrupting, without glancing at their phone, without waiting for their turn to speak? Now ask yourself, when was the last time you did that for someone younger? Listening is a gift, and as we age, it becomes one of the most powerful tools we have to connect and earn respect. Not because we speak louder, but because we hear deeper. Take Eleanor, 81. Her grandson, Jake, 22, came home from university for a weekend. He looked fine, smiling, polite, but she saw it, the weight in his shoulders, the silence in his eyes. She didn't prod. She didn't start with, "Is everything okay?" She simply made tea, put a biscuit on a plate, and said, "You've always liked chamomile." They sat for 10 minutes in silence. Then Jake spoke about pressure, about feeling lost, about not knowing who he's becoming. Eleanor didn't offer advice. She just nodded, held space, listened without trying to fix. Later, Jake would say, "Grandma didn't give me answers, but she made me feel like I was allowed to not have them." That is the silent strength of listening. It's not passive. It's presence. And it tells a younger soul, you matter right now, as you are. 2. Stay curious, not critical. Many older adults feel out of place in today's fast-paced digital world. It's easy to turn that discomfort into criticism. Kids these days always on their phones. What even is this music? In my time, we had real conversations. But here's the truth. The moment we stop being curious, we start being left behind, not because of age, but because of attitude. Curiosity is what keeps you connected, not just to the world, but to the people living in it. Tom, 76, had that moment with his granddaughter Lily, who was always drawing on her iPad. One day he asked, "What are you working on?" She showed him layers, color gradients, character design. She was creating a digital comic. Tom could have said, "Back in my day, we drew with pencils." But instead, he said, "This is art, different tools, same soul." That one moment opened a door. Lily started visiting more often, even asking Tom to help name some of her characters based on his old army friends. They built a bridge, not through shared experiences, but through shared interest. And that's the power of curiosity. It softens generational gaps. It turns confusion into connection. Don't worry if you don't understand the latest trends. Just ask questions. What do you love about that? Respect begins where judgment ends. 3. Share stories, not lectures. Do you remember the people you respected most in your life? The ones who guided you? Chances are they didn't shout. They didn't say, "Here's what you should do." They told stories. Stories that stayed with you. Stories that made you think. Nancy, now 74, once faced a moment with her teenage grandson who was considering dropping out of college. He was overwhelmed, unsure, full of doubt. Instead of reacting with fear or advice, Nancy said, "I remember a night in 1969 when I almost left nursing school. I sat on the floor of my dorm, crying into a towel so my roommate wouldn't hear." She told him about her failure, her shame, and how a stranger in the hallway, another student, told her, "You're allowed to mess up, just don't let it stop you." That story, so vulnerable, so human, did more than advice ever could. It showed him that fear is survivable, that struggle is normal, that he wasn't alone. Younger people don't need perfect examples. They need real ones. When you share a story from your life, not polished, not heroic, but honest, you offer something more valuable than answers. You offer wisdom wrapped in truth. 4. Let them teach you sometimes. It can feel strange, even uncomfortable, to let someone decades younger than you teach you something. But here's the surprising truth. When you allow a younger person to guide you, even in a small way, you honor their competence. And they, in return, see you as wise, not because you know everything, but because you're still willing to learn. Frank, 79, had always used a landline, but one day his 14-year-old great-grandson Leo asked, "Can I show you how to video call?" Frank agreed, reluctantly. He fumbled. He held the phone upside down. He kept poking the home button instead of the camera. But Leo was patient, and Frank kept laughing at himself. After 20 minutes, they were face to face on the screen. Frank said, "I can see your smile and hear you, even if you're 300 miles away. That's magic." Now, they talk every Sunday, face to face. Frank learned something new. Leo learned that older people aren't stuck in the past. Not if you give them a chance. Letting someone teach you says, "I trust you. I believe you can lead, too." And that creates a bond built not on authority, but on respect. 5. Respect yourself first. It's often said, people treat you how you treat yourself. If you speak about aging as a burden, treat your time as unimportant, or stop nurturing your mind and body, others might unconsciously mirror that attitude. But when you speak about your life with quiet confidence, take pride in small routines, stay curious, and embrace the joy of living, you radiate dignity. Take Doris, 83, who wakes each day with the same ritual. She opens her window to feel the morning air. She writes one line of gratitude in a small notebook. She wears earrings, even if she's staying home. And every evening, she reads poetry aloud, just for herself. When her granddaughter once asked, "Why bother getting dressed if no one's coming over?" Doris replied, "Because I'm someone worth showing up for, even if it's just me." That answer, gentle yet firm, stayed with the girl for life. Respect isn't just something we earn from others. It's something we first model from within. Your routines, your posture, your choices, they all send a message to the younger people watching. This is how I honor my life. And that message inspires more than any lecture ever could. 6. Tom's story. The quiet influence. Tom never set out to be admired. He didn't demand attention or try to teach life lessons. He simply lived with steadiness, kindness, and presence. When his young neighbor Dylan lost his father to a sudden heart attack, everyone tried to give advice. Be strong. Take care of your mom. Time heals. Tom did none of that. He came by with 2 mugs of cocoa and sat next to Dylan on the back porch. After 5 minutes of silence, he said, "I lost my brother when I was 21. I don't have answers, but I'll sit with you for as long as you need." That became their ritual, sitting in silence. Some evenings, they watched the sun go down. Others, they watched old war documentaries. No big conversations, just consistency. Years later, Dylan, now a father himself, would say, "Tom taught me what strength looks like, not in words, in presence." And that's the quiet truth. The most respected people are rarely the loudest. They're the ones who show up, who stay, who see us when we're broken, and don't flinch. That kind of influence is earned not by force, but by being